Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Neoma Indrunevan Basanga, and this afternoon I will be presenting this movie, The Wheel Rider, which is which was written by Witi Ihimaera. Thank you very much. To moving on, the question was like, what is the major characteristic in this novel, in this movie, The Wheel Rider? Okay, some points I come across with, which is the major characteristic in to these people, in the Maori people, since they were Polynesian, and Polynesian people were the culture, and for the chief, when there is a next king, they will be passing by generation to generation, but only by male. So in this movie, The Wheel Rider, where has the death and the birth of the leader. For this, the death and the birth of the leader, in the beginning of the story, when Pai was born, she has a twin, but it's a twin brother. She has a twin brother. By the time the twin brother passed away, the twin brother was the firstborn. This is coming to the leadership and the culture traditional, which is like, as I have already said, that for these Polynesian people, since New Zealand has counted in Polynesian, the Pacific, Polynesian people, these Polynesian people, while they pass the king to the next king, there will only be a male. Just because of this, Pai's twin brother has passed away. My twin brother was the firstborn, and secondly, he's a male. And Pai was a secondborn, but she is a female. So, in this movie, The Wheel Rider, which was a female, was prohibited to become a leader, to take over, to become a monarch, in other words. So for this, just because of her twin brother was passed away, everything was totally different, and that's one major characteristic which we can see on this movie, which can be discussed in this movie, because in their culture, only the firstborn and only a male should take the crown, should be a leader, should be a king. When Pai was born, every people started to lost their hope. Every people was like started to fight each other, because Pai was a female, and by the time they believe no female should take over. Okay, moving on. Just to relate that their culture to our culture nowadays. Yes, it's a bit similar, but it's totally similar, but it's also a bit different to them. Before in our community, for example in Fiji, before there's only time for the men. There's every time and every moment that every man will take the leader, will be a leader and be a king. So as woman, in that time we were not given any chance for to be leading. And yes, go back to the to the theme that Paikea was trying to say, that everyone can be a leader. And for example, for a good example, that as here in Fiji, there was, we know that time was like they're prohibited for us women to talk. They can heard our voice, but now there's a team, and there's a group of uh, of where the woman's right is, where us women can be heard, can be talk. So at the same time, we can take a lead too. We can take a lead. We can lead some little groups or a community. Moving on, the how Paikea in the last scene, Paikea speech. Okay, coming to the last scene, Paikea was departure. She went away because her grandfather not accepted her, so she managed to go where she can be found. And from there she went, and to she started to gain what is hers. And then by the time she gained it, she came back. And that time she came back, and she started to like to gather the community together, the people, and and they like working together. And from that time they breaking the culture norm, which is the major culture norm is for only the men to be a leader. And by the time which is Paikea take over, she managed to change everything. And that time she can manage everything because she take over the community. She was a leader, and by the time too, the way was come, and the grandfather was like discriminating her because she was born female, and the grandfather was not believe in her. The grandfather was like losing of his hope because the grandfather believes that Paikea can't go with the whale. But in that time, by that time, when the people of this community like they saw the whale went to the middle of the ocean with Paikea, and they like shock and like surprise of that Paikea too can have a connection between the whale and connection with the whale. So yes, for this movie we learn a lot of things that we need to just a lesson learned I want to leave here with you is that we have to believe each other. For example, in that movie, Koro, Paikea's grandfather, never believed in Paikea because Paikea was a female. So Koro never believed in her. Koro was always discriminating her. And we have to stop that. And for this, somehow everyone can be a leader, and especially for us Polynesian people. And it will be hard, but yes, since the time has changed, since the global warming take steps at the front, everything has changed. So everyone can be a leader, and everyone can be changed in their own way style, and everyone can be do things better if everyone and every people working together. And thank you very much for listening, and Thank you very much for listening. See you for my next video.